This is an educational segment for students and teachers alike on the forward fold and why I teach it the way I do, but just different things to consider for the population of people coming into your class. So there's two ways I feel like when you go through sun sals, when you tell people to forward fold, because they're up here standing and then they need to get down onto the floor to do the poses you want them to do. Things like plank, warrior two, warrior one, triangle, blah. And one of the things I feel like people need to understand before they even go into teaching or before you even get to your class is the environment that most people are coming from are a seated position. And that seated position involves knee flexion, ankle flexion, hip flexion. And when you're sitting down at your chair, you're compressing the hamstrings on a chair, they're not doing any work, and your hip flexor is shortened, but not because of strength. It's because you're sitting. And this type of load encourages this type of tilt. And it means that my pelvis is pitched forward because these hip flexors are shortened, and because my pelvis is slightly angled downwards, my hamstrings are lengthening, but not from a point of strength. It's because my bones are not in the alignment they want to be in. And so if you think about that mindset of people coming into the class with these chronically lengthened hamstrings, shortened pelvis, pitched low back, then you're saying inhale, reach those arms up, which also is adding load into the shoulders. Not the best way to lift up, but that's a different segment. And arch the back. Okay, most people aren't engaging their abdominal webbing by now, and they're just reaching and lifting their neck, which is adding more load onto their low back. And they're like, wow, I'm amazing and flexible. And then on their exhale, they swan dive down, leading with their ribs. Look at this position. My hips are all the way behind my heels, which means I'm not even effectively using my feet here. And all of this is being loaded into this place where my hamstrings insert into my sits bones, where my glutes are. If you've ever felt your sits bones, yes, feel your butt. That's where they go. All three of your hamstrings go into there. And then I'm loading and coming down. And my back could be tight if I've been sitting all day. And now here I am. Most of my weight is behind my heels because I'm trying to get that hamstring stretch, and then watch what happens. I'm looking forward. Look what happens to my low back, as opposed to if I keep my head neutral. So I'll do that a few times. Maybe I won't hurt my hamstrings. And then we ask them to jump back, lower, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, which is for a different segment. I'm not going to go through all that right now. So you're adding excessive loads onto areas that might be chronically weak due to things they've been doing all day. Therefore, if we can put them into a position that is safer, tucking the tailbone, squeezing the glutes, softening the knees, also understand that everybody's body is different. So, you can cue to a general population, but somebody might be like, hey, this makes it worse. Then that's a whole different segment. But try to, get the glutes on, get a buoyancy in the knees, and then on the inhale, have them reach forward and up. Don't even ask them to look up, because the moment you ask them to look up, you don't know if their head has been forward all day. We're getting a little sun sal education in here. And then as they go down, encourage that core engagement as they send their hips back. There's a difference between this and this. So look at the centration of my hips in the socket and then where my knees are centered over my foot. So right now they're about mid-foot as opposed to back here, which is almost the same thing that I was doing earlier with the locked out knees. So you want to keep equal weight in the toes and heels. Chin is in alignment as a forward fold. So now I'm more apt to be able to move in different directions, stepping or jumping back, because my core is engaged, my glutes are squeezing barely. I'm not like squeezing everything together, it's just that it's there because my knees are bent. And then I step, jump back, and come forward. And then same thing when you come all the way up. You're not keeping, and then you're bending the knees, engaging the glutes, and coming up. So our knees are meant to bend. We walk with them bending. We run with them bending. We move with them bending. So why, when we come into the classroom, all of a sudden it's don't bend your knees? Our knee joints are there for a purpose. Our knees bend. So why don't we bend them if they're meant to bend? Because when we reach down to pick something off the floor, we bend our knees. Why do we not reach down and bend down towards the mat? Because when we leave out of this classroom, we're not always doing yoga. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to triangle pose to pick something off the floor. So just think about it in that way. It's where is your population coming from? Majorities probably work. And then how can you put them in a better position to protect their hamstrings, glutes, and core for when they go down for a forward fold? As always, if you have any questions, please message me and let me know.